What's up, you guys? It's Sir Scrub here, bringing you some more Scrub Tier Yu-Gi-Oh! Before we get into today's video, please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know what you think down in the comment section below. With all that junk out of the way, let's jump both feet into today's video. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at some ways to combat ABC. With A Assault Core coming back off the ban list, this deck will re-enter the meta. And considering it was at least Tier 2 with cards like Masterpiece and Astrograph running around, you definitely do not want to sleep on ABC. So of course we're going to go through this video just like the rest in three parts. Part 1, the deck's strengths from the perspective of the ABC player. Part 2, how to beat it when going first. And Part 3, how to beat it when going second. So with no other exposition needed, let's go ahead and jump both feet into this video. So for those that don't know ABC, ABC is a deck that is based entirely on Machine Union monsters, mainly the three main components being A Assault Core, B Buster Drake, and C Crush Wyvern. These three monsters can either contact fuse or banish from the grave to make ABC Dragon Buster. ABC Dragon Buster is an absolute beast of a boss monster that has a quick effect to discard a card and banish a card your opponent controls, and it can quote-unquote tag out back into the pieces to dodge removal options. So the deck's whole point is to assemble the three pieces and create Dragon Buster. The main way the deck does this is through the field spell card Union HANGAR. Yes, it's HANGAR because the TCG is a walking mistake. When HANGAR is activated, it immediately searches a light Machine Union monster. And when any of those oddly specific monsters is normal summoned, you can immediately attach a monster from your deck to it, making it to where this card is instantly 2/3 of the cards you need to get to Dragon Buster. Not to mention it's a field spell, so it can obviously be searched via terraforming. So with the core engine only being around 12 cards, that gives this deck plenty of room to experiment with other engines, including but not limited to Brilliant Fusion builds, some Lightsworn builds, and some Invoked builds. This makes the deck rather versatile and can make it difficult to combat. But it does give an ABC player many options when siding in and out during a match, or just sheer versatility in the main deck. But that's enough for this part. Let's go ahead and talk about some ways to combat the deck going first. Firstly, one card I like to use to kind of combat this deck is Unending Nightmare. Keeping the Union Hanger from continuously generating resources and upping the consistency can make this deck's life very hard. Plus, since it is a field spell, you can pseudo-negate it with this card, as well as use it to pop other potential back row like Scapegoat. It's also a rather flexible side deck card, being helpful against all the back row and control decks this format. Another useful card against this deck is Imperial Ironwall. Ironwall keeps Dragon Buster from hitting the field, and if they somehow do establish one, it keeps it from banishing your cards. Not to mention it can also help out in the Thunder Dragon matchup. It's a really powerful card and is definitely one of the more underrated side deck cards for this format in my opinion. Of course, you can't talk about a fusion based archetype without talking about D-Barrier. This card turns off the deck's ability to make Dragon Buster period. And for the decks that can OTK when you're forced to go first, you can make your board, set this card, pass, and then basically this turn skip an ABC player. Next, I'd like to highlight not just one card but a whole engine, and that is the Artifact engine. Using cards like Artifact Scythe and Lancia to stun this deck for a while is really strong, as well as giving you a respectable 2200 body on board for your efforts. I would put more emphasis on the last two, being D-Barrier and the Artifacts, for the flexibility within today's metagame. The Artifact engine and D-Barrier will help you out against more decks rather than just about anything else. And they're the most splashable considering most decks don't really mind running these cards. The Artifact engine in and of itself can turn off the extra deck for any deck that you're facing, like Sky Strikers, Thunder Dragons, Cyber Dragons. I mean, Artifact Scythe's ability to just say no to the extra deck for a turn is a really great way to skip a lot of decks' turns these days. Not to mention, you know, if you go first against the Rongo Lock, boom, they can't even get Rongo Bongo on the field, so on and so forth. Really great engine. And D-Barrier is just a powerful card. You definitely always want to have some copies of D-Barrier lying around. That's it for going first. Let's go ahead and move into when we're going second. So we've got the usual hand traps when you go second. Dropping Ash Forehead on Union Hangar's first effect can be really helpful. or you can let them get the initial search off and then use Ghost Ogre to simply destroy and kinda negate it and save the Ash for something like Desires or Brilliant Fusion. I also strongly recommend the Kaiju engine. This is probably one of the most flexible side deck engines in the game with the current meta. This engine just puts in so much work and so many matchups to this format, it is crazy. And I go much more in detail about that in my True Draco Invoke deck, which I'll leave a link to in the iCard. Shameless plug. Please love me. But anywho, dropping a Gamma Seal with Dragon Buster used to be is a great way of just getting rid of it. Not to mention it turns off Sky Strikers in general. It can help you out the Thunder Dragon boards. It's just a really powerful engine. I would definitely suggest siding Kaijus. And if you don't want to side Kaijus, another powerful card you can use when going second is Herald of the Abyss. This card lets you instantly out one Buster at the cost of 1500 life points. And if they establish multiples, it keeps them from disrupting your plays for the rest of the turn. Basically instantly outing their whole board because it prevents them from using that monster's effects for the rest of the turn. And of course, just like Kaijus, it's really helpful against any other boss monster deck, like the Rongo Bongo deck and Thunder Dragons, because this gets around all sorts of protection and unaffected status and stuff like that, because Herald of the Abyss forces the opponent to perform an action. It doesn't affect the cards directly, and that gives it a lot of power and versatility, especially against boss monster decks. That's all I got for this one, you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Also, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to share this video with a friend. But most importantly, don't forget,